a cell extraction team. And that I was at least going to get my ass beat, if not killed. They were outside the cell for a couple minutes. They left for maybe 3 or 4 minutes, and they came back up to the cell, and I heard the keys outside the door, and I thought to myself, all right, here they come, right? And I reached down, and I grabbed the foot of my bed, and I pulled it back up over myself to where I had the mattress on top of me. And they opened the door, and I expected a bunch of correctional officers to come pouring through the door, and they all stepped back out of the way like there was something dangerous they were watching out for. And this thing walked into my room, and it was about 4 feet tall. It had really, really translucent skin, and it was segmented, all of its skin on its arm and everything. I could see its veins through its arm, through its skin. And as soon as I saw the glint of light in its eye, I could feel it grab a hold of my mind, and it said, fear me like you have never feared anything before. And it started manipulating my emotional control centers. And I was just like on Independence Day. You've seen the movie Independence Day, where the alien get a hold of the dude and they speak through him. And every question that came to my mind was instantly, an answer appeared. And I asked, why are you doing this? And it came to my mind that they're doing it for genetic material. They're coming back, not from another place, but from another time. That in their time, we have crushed and damaged our world so badly that just basic genetic material is super rare in their existence, in their realm of existence. Where are you from? It said that they're from here. They're not from another place. That the nearest, they know about the next nearest intelligent race that has the ability to commute between solar systems, and that the next intelligent civilization that has that capacity is at least 100 light years away. I said, why are you doing this? They said, genetic material. That we are currently wiping out our planet to the point that in their time, all they have left is a fucking bare existence with a limited amount of genetic material to choose from to propagate food, to propagate living animals, to propagate anything. I had a question come to my mind about why the government, right? And it immediately said, they're into it. They let them do what they want, so the rest of us aren't running around like chickens with their heads cut off. The government lets them do whatever they want, because the government does not want the average citizens to know what is happening, what is really happening with gray aliens. I asked, why does the government let you do this? And they said that the government lets us do this because they don't have any choice. I asked, why are the correctional officers in this facility working with you? And it said very plainly that they don't want to be where I am. And I was up on the top bunk in a prison cell. And this thing told me, I said, how are you doing this? How are you making me feel this level of fear? And it said it was using magnetic wave manipulation, refined to a degree that it could affect individual thoughts, that it could dissect me in 1,000 different ways, erase my memory of it, and replace it with a bad dream, and there was nothing I could do about it. So I was up on top of the top bunk, flopping around, scared to death, trying to get away from this thing. And it came over by my bunk, and I noticed that its eyes did not appear to be... The very first thing I thought when it came into the room was, that thing looks just like what they show on fucking TV. And immediately, soon as it came in the room, it had a hold of my emotional control centers. It had me laughing, it had me crying, it had me trying to force my way through a brick wall to get away from it. It talked about magnetic wave technology in a way, as a way of manipulating people's emotions, manipulating matter, manipulating thought processes. That there's a ton of people in our government and in our society that know about them, that just generally want to avoid being, I don't know what to call it, attacked by them like I was being attacked at that moment. They don't want to have their entire psychology turned upside down. And it came right over by the bunk, and I kept saying to myself, this can't be real. This can't be real. This can't be real. This can't be real. And I noticed that it had like a gray-green color to it, almost like a military color that you say to yourself, is that gray or that green? It's really a weird color, almost like camouflage, almost like a translucent camouflage to its skin. But I could see its veins through its skin. I could see the blood moving through its veins in its skin, because its veins would expand a little bit with each pulse. And its skin on its hand and its arm was really segmented. It was really thin, probably about 4 feet tall. It had, the very first thing I thought was, that thing looks just like what they show on TV, because it did. It looked like a gray alien. I noticed that its eye was not really its eye. What we see on TV and in the media as its eye was a lens, but it was a lens that was, they're genetically modified to fit that lens into their face. The thing was definitely accustomed to living in dark environments because it did not like any kind of light going on in the room. And I kept asking, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? And it kept saying, because what you're doing to the planet now has destroyed the world in which we live. It was mad as fuck. It came over by the bunk, and I kept thinking, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And then right when it got right next to the bunk, it was looking up at me out of the corner of its eye, kind of, in a weird way. And I thought to myself, just in the back of my mind, if I can get my hands on that thing, I can kill it. And as soon as I had that thought, it said, oh yeah, you're not going to like this. And then I woke up, and I was sitting up in my bunk, and my cellie was sitting there chopping bell peppers, and he looked over at me and he said, what happened to you? And I said, I just had a really weird dream, the weirdest dream I've ever had in my life. And that's about the story right there. Got any questions?